Hey everybody, good morning. It's Thursday and welcome to another episode of the Buddhist Biohacker. We are creating conscious content for 1111D, and as usual, I am Lisa Gunshore. I am your host, and I'm very excited about today as always. We have had some special monthly featured guests every single month, and one of our monthly featured guests is Cairo Rocha, and we have just loved having him on. All of you guys have had so many wonderful comments and messages and just sharing how much light he's brought to all of you, and I just love him too. So welcome to the show, Cairo.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me here, for creating this space. You're tireless. You work so much, but I'm very grateful for what you're doing to all of us. Yeah,
Oh, thank
and it's so much. I mean, it reflects your heart. This is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. You really are such a gift to all of us. I've learned so much from you in just a few short months, and I look forward to this every single month. And I know we're going to dive in, and I can actually put this up, you guys, about some of the things we're going to be talking about. Let's see here. Let me see if I can work my own software. But we're going to be talking more about anger and depression and self-sabotage. That was something that we talked about last month. And, you know, Cairo, I'm just going to let you kind of take it away and decide, you know, where you want to go with this. So.
Yes. Lisa, as you know, well, for people who don't know me, I've been working with energy medicine for the past 35 years. Ever since my experience in Japan, I lived in Japan for 4 years and 4 more years in Europe, trying to understand the human energy and trying to accumulate everything and process everything, integrate. And so basically, all these years, every time I go to my office, my clinic, I always have this, I would say, excitement. It's to say every day is a new beginning and every patient a new teacher. So there's always this excitement. What am I going to learn today? And throughout the years as working as a therapist, obviously I come across a wide spectrum of issues, whether it's emotional, physical, mental. But there is something I learned from the very start. As you know, the story, I think I shared this with the lady who had a pain in her thigh, and it turned out to be an emotional issue. It was encapsulated there. So there was a new beginning for me. All of a sudden, I have this huge screen in front of me, no longer a 13-inch, but something huge that I didn't know about. So I had to catch up or hit the ground running, as you say, and start exploring this aspect of everything. So that's to say, behind everything, behind, I would say, a headache, behind a migraine headache or a sciatica, if you pull the thread, there's always an emotional there. There's always something hiding there to say, hey, I'm using this form of communication with you, but I'm here. I need attention. I need recognition. So basically, this is what I learned. And it's just all to do with recognition. And it's like you see this emotion, it wants to be acknowledged and released. But there is a particular one, that respects no boundaries, respects no social status, degree of, status of intelligence, whatever that is, which we can call depression. And actually, ever since I spoke about depression last time, Lisa, people are asking me about this. That's why I'm going deeper this time. I'm going to use the magnifying glass or microscope. We're going deeper into depression, especially.
That is such a gift because I think so many folks are struggling with that right now. You know, it's been a tough year.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, when you see something like you have a stressor or something affecting you, but you have a way out, this can be called challenge, right? When you have no way out, you feel that you're locked up. You're against the wall. then it's we call depression. That's what people call. But I'd like to open a little window here to say that I try to avoid, I'm going to use the word depression because I know people know what I'm talking about, but I try to avoid labels at all costs. Because once you have this label, and people come to me, I have this label, I'm depressed, I'm manic depressive, bipolar, whatever that is. This is heavy. This has been carrying for so long. It's an energy that's stuck and keeps perpetuating, right? And you know very well that the Tibetans say, the Dalai Lama says it very many times, that when you have an issue, it keeps coming back to you in disguise. Just look, pay attention to what you've been broadcasting, right? If you've been broadcasting something not so elevated, that's what you're going to get because of the resonance. If you broadcast in victimhood, you're going to be in a position of playing that part. So this is one thing that we need to look into that, because we're very much part of everything. Nothing is given to us, or it's no such thing. We have a very important part to play in our role in life. All right. Mm-hmm. So taking that aside, I'm going to be using the word depression because people know what I'm talking about. But normally people who know me here in my office, I never use that word. Okay, I try to call like a dysfunction or chi stagnation or something of a kind, just on purpose to diffuse that. This is, we don't need that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Basically, every time I travel, either to teach seminar or to attend a seminar, and I say that I live in the Bahamas, people say, "Come on, you depression in the Bahamas? Are you kidding? We're not sorry for you," because they think that live in a beautiful place. I mean, there's no depression here. Well, to a certain extent, I have to agree. Living in a nice place, having a nice environment can help. But when you talk about depression, as everything else, we have the endogenous aspect is something that comes from inside, and we have the exogenous, something from your environment. Of course, if you have a difficult, whether it's in a relationship or the work environment that is not conducive to a good energy or frequency, of course, this is going to affect you. Mm-hmm. I can show this. I show this all the time in my office, Lisa. When somebody comes and I see that that's something's happening, this kind of thing, I always ask the person to breathe for me. Just breathe as you normally do. Right? And then I'll check the pulses, and I'll ask the person to check. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Now, you're going to breathe 3 times, 5 times, 4 times. Deep breathing. Just let go. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. Check your pulse again. Totally different story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We have this amazing, uncanny equipment, which is our breath, our breathing, that can change everything. And this applies to what we call exogenous effect on your body. So say if you go to a place, a work environment that you're not very comfortable, you don't know many people, or people are affecting you, that's because your magnetic field is too narrow. You don't have the proper cushions. So the environment is crushing you. Okay? If by any chance, when you're in this situation, if you pay attention, you're breathing shallow and fast. Shallow and fast. And the best way to overcome this is the antidote to start breathing deeply and slowly, consciously. And you change that. You change your brain waves, you change your energy. All of a sudden, you have expanded your environment. You feel totally comfortable. Okay? We're going to be talking more about this. That's why I'm presenting this now, because we'll be exploring this in a moment. Okay?
Okay.
Now, there's one reaction to say, if you were to ask me how does Chinese consider depression? How is depression? Basically, depression is lack of movement, right? It's a stagnation, lack of flow. Things are not flowing. And the image I use a lot is like, imagine this fan, a big fan you put on the floor. We use it a lot in the Bahamas. And you put like a piece of wood between the blades, okay? And you turn it on. You know what's going to happen, right? There's going to be this tremendous effort to turn the blades. They want to turn, but it cannot because there is a piece of wood. So what happens if nothing's done? There's going to be overheating, and then it's going to damage the fan. So likewise, quite often, certain things, either exogenous from the external environment, or inside us, is preventing the fan from functioning, from moving. Okay, so that's the image I would like to start with. Now, if you can say, depression in Chinese medicine is liver qi stagnation. So liver is very much about movement, expansion, right? It's called the army general. He wants to make plans. He wants to make sure where the blood is going to go. This blood is allocated for this. And particularly important in female physiology. All right? Every time somebody comes with a problem with menstruation or infertility or PMS, you name it, liver qi stagnation. That's the beginning, and that's when we need to go. Start from there. So it's very closely associated with female physiology. So liver is beautiful. I can't say enough. But on the other hand, it's very sensitive to repressed emotions, perception of having a say, unspoken words, yeah, and I mean pent-up grudges, something you're holding back. This creates this. This is like the piece of wood between the blades.
Wow.
Yeah, and also, like I say, not having a say in life, even if it's real, even if it's not real. Most important, how you perceive that. Yeah, and this is very much very common in the place where I come from, in South America, especially my parents' generation, my mom, grandma's generation, when the mothers, the wives, they were not just kept things to themselves. Japan is a good example as well. It's not a very nice thing to show openly your feelings. It's a virtue actually to keep it inside. James Clavell, in the book Shogun, he said it so well. He said the Japanese has three hearts. One, he shows society. The second one he shows to his family, and the third one he keeps it to himself. That's perfect Japanese. And of course, this has a price to pay, because the amount of liver stagnation, the amount of stagnation affects you so much. Yeah, affects you so much. So they have to resort to other things in their culture to release that. Right? So this is one thing. Just I'd like to start with liver qi stagnation. Now we're going to go deeper. I'm going to share with you, and everybody's listening, something that is not very common. People don't know much about, but I'd like to introduce you to this. Now, according to Chinese, especially when you do more advanced studies, each organ has a mental state or spiritual state connected to it. Okay, it's like, say, the lungs are, well, let's start with the heart. The heart is to do, in Chinese, heart is to do with the mind, and there's a word for that. It's po. Sorry, Shen, it's heart's to do with Shen, which to do with the mind. Sorry. So when we talk about mind in Chinese medicine, we're talking about the heart. So much so that when somebody has mental issues, we always go for the heart, treat the heart, and then things tend to evolve in a positive way. So mind and heart they go hand in hand. It's the expression of the heart.
I
Then,
love that.
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt.
it's as beautiful as it could be.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say, yesterday we did a whole podcast talking about moving from head to heart. And then I was also on another interview where I was being interviewed, and they were asking about the cohesion of the head and the heart. And so I just love that you're talking about that today too, because it's just all one, connected, the mind and the heart. So that's really cool what you're sharing.
Yeah, it's so beautiful because you say when the Chinese have the way they describe insomnia, it's so beautiful. They say when the mind comes to the house to sleep, and the house is not very relaxed or peaceful, then the soul wanders through the streets. So that's insomnia. So the soul doesn't have a place to sleep because the mind is a bit agitated. So things like that. It's really, really beautiful. So then you have the liver, which is called Hun, Hun, which is called ethereal soul. Ethereal soul, which is we're going to be talking a lot, correspond to a concept, basically what we call soul or spirit. It's ethereal and survives when we die. So when we die, this ethereal soul goes into the spiritual world. It continues that. So this is Hun, and is connected to the liver. You're going to see again how important the liver is. It's connected to ethereal soul. Now, then comes to the lungs, which is connected with the corporeal soul, Po, P-O. This is contrary to ethereal soul. Corporeal soul is the somatic expression of the soul. It's more to do with the physical, it's like sensation, feelings, the sight, all the senses. But this follows the body. When we die, it goes to earth. So ethereal soul goes to spirit, corporeal soul goes to earth. In a way, you can call yin and yang. Yin being the matter, and yang being the spirit and manifestation. Okay? Now continue there. We're going to go back there because it's very important. The kidneys have to do with Z, which is to do with willpower. So as we call, the kidneys are our batteries. Everything, there's a spark. You say if you have this beautiful car, some Mercedes, whatever you have, a Porsche, but you need the battery. You need the ignition. The ignition is the kidneys. Okay. So they are right there behind you in a very supportive way. It's like push you, go. So this is Z, which is the willpower to do with the kidneys. And finally, we have thought, or Yi, that's connected to spleen, which is to do with the intellect. It's to do with the mind, the intellect, the thought. Okay? So these are the spiritual, mental extension of each organ. So it's really as high as you can go. Now, let's go back to a relationship between Shen, the mind, and Hun, ethereal soul. That's what's very interesting for us. So far, so good?
Mm-hmm. So good.
Okay.
I'll say, I can say from my own direct experience that the liver has been quite the challenge for me in this life. And so this is really, really cool information because I think it's just kind of adding more knowledge and education around how the liver has been impacting my own health and well-being. So anyways, I love it. So yes.
Yeah, I have good news for you. I have some tips at the end of this.
Oh, good.
Yeah, an interesting thing to add to what you said, how important the liver is. It's the only organ that can restore itself. If you really lose a piece of the liver, it's the only one who restores itself. Only when there's no other way, but it bounces back beautifully. It really knows its importance in our life. Okay, so how interesting. Now we're going to zoom into what we call liver qi stagnation being the cause of depression. That's how the Chinese call. But I would say the relationship between the ethereal soul and the mind, that's when the main key to understanding depression. Let me give you the idea. The ethereal soul gives the mind, gives the mind or gifts the mind inspiration, creativity, ideas, plan, life dreams, aspirating, resulting from what Chinese call the coming and going and free flow of liberty. So the ethereal soul goes out and in the dreams and brings information to the mind. It's coming and going, right? So the energy of liver facilitates this process. So ethereal soul is always the bringer of these amazing things. Mm. However, the mind needs to control the ethereal soul because it's too much. The mind, it deals with one issue, one thing at a time, all right? Because ethereal soul is always searching. It's always searching for new ideas, new inspirations. But the mind only takes one thing at a time because it needs to integrate, right? So when the ethereal soul comes excited, here, so hold on. I need to process this. Wait a little bit. We're going to assimilate that. Okay, so that's the relationship between the mind and ethereal soul. Now, when the ethereal soul's movement is deficient, it's not moving very much, it's to do with, as I said, liver energy. So when the ethereal soul cannot move too much because of liver qi stagnation, there's going to be a lack of inspiration. There's going to be lack of creativity, life dreams, aspirations, and that's what we call depression. Okay, it's the fact that the ethereal soul is not capable of bringing all the gifts, and the liver energy facilitates that. So this is as deep as you can go, right? But there's another story. Even if the ethereal soul's movement is efficient, is going back and forth, bringing inspiration, but maybe sometimes the mind is over controlling. So like individuals with strong and rigid beliefs. So it leads the mind to suppress inspiration coming from the ethereal soul. So when the beliefs and strong and very rigid, this is one of this. I can always find this. This is one of the main cause of depression. Yeah, because even though you're getting all this fresh wind, you can go all this inspiration from the ethereal soul, but your mind is closed. It's closed down to that, and that's one of the main things that result in depression. Okay, and this is so common, Lisa. It's so common that I say, if only I could remove that, but it has to be gradual. Sometimes you just to plant a little seed and let it grow and stand back. This is perhaps one of the most, I wouldn't say frustration, I don't like that word, but it's challenging in what I do. When I see certain things that could be going faster or has a quick resolution, but you have to respect what the person is. You know, it's like I consider myself sometimes like an elevator that I would like to reach the person where the person is. Okay, so if the person is the second floor, that's why you're going. If the person is the third floor, that's why you're going. If you are to help, if you want to facilitate things, you know. Yeah. But basically, we're going back how important it is to keep the liver flowing, the liver energy flowing. We're going to talk more about this. Of course, I can do this with acupuncture and other things. You can do with everything you do beautifully. But there are other things I'm going to suggest for people can do on their own. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. So far, so good.
Yes, it's so good. It's fascinating.
Now, people ask me, how, in terms of practical, what else can I do to help? Well, Another thing that can affect the liver movement and the ethereal soul and all this movement is diet. The Chinese talk about, like, so if you have the same way that the strong and rigid believes, if you have a very strong and rigid, strong regimen or diet, this is not a very good thing. It can create it mimics it's almost like a metaphor of what's going on. Regardless what it is, if you really love bananas, bananas could be the best thing in the world. And it is. Actually, it's very good for depression, by the way. But if you only eat bananas because you told bananas is the thing, this is already a blockage. This is already a stagnation. All right? Another thing is like a very strict form of diet is just one, but to being. Another thing that I see a lot, this is very obvious. Somebody who comes to me with neck problems, torticollis, you cannot move your neck. You've probably seen this. Some people, when they have to turn, they turn the entire body.
Yeah.
And so what happens is there are two muscles, sternocleidomastoid on each side of the neck. And this is controlled by gallbladder meridian, which together with the liver is very much about envision and carry on your dreams, manifesting your dreams. Okay? But sometimes when there's a rigidity, that's going to happen. So you cannot look on the sides. You're just too focused, okay? Too focused. And that's when your body begins to tell you, you need to explore all the facets of life. So this is another thing that comes hand in hand with depression. So the neck issue. There are other things, but this is one of the most common one. Okay. Now, another thing is, I'm gonna give an example. I have years ago there was this lady. She came to me. She was, she was diagnosed of being severely, as they call, depressed, and I was talking to her, and she didn't want to talk much. Actually, she was very short words, short expressions, never smile. I tried my best, my tricks, and my hat to make her smile, but nothing, no smiling. And then I realized that because of her rigidity, her upbringing was very rigid, that she shared with me at some point. That wasn't the case. She was blocking the ethereal soul. Her mind was blocking the ethereal soul. All right. So then I was say, well, let's explore things. I didn't share with her, but I was exploring things. Let's imagine today. Close your eyes and imagine that you are a ballerina. Just imagine you're dancing on a stage with lots of movement. The other day I say, let's imagine that you're a tree, like a bamboo that you bounce. The wind blows. You go all the way to the ground, but you bounce back. So I was trying to create movement in her life, very slowly, without telling her what to do. And slowly, I was getting some smile. She was speaking a long time, long sentences. And then she got she improved so much at the end she joined a choir. She started singing, which was the utmost thing, for her. But that was the case of a very strict upbringing that was kind of very strong in her mind that was preventing the ethereal soul from bringing the gifts to the mind. You see?
Yeah, that's a beautiful story. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's what I can say, Lisa. I think it's more about the soul, like we're talking about the soul. One thing that I think it's experience from the past. I'll leave it like that. The idea that you go to somebody and you surrender your power, right? You surrender your power to, a spouse, a doctor, a lawyer, a clergyman, or a situation, whatever that is, then with what power do you want to heal yourself? If you surrender everything. And quite often, when I see this happening, I try to discourage gently people from surrendering their power to me. They're like, take care of me. Because one thing is, I say, true healing, true healing is self-healing to begin with. There's nothing I can do for you that your body can't do better. Yeah, I'm just facilitating here. And also, you have all the means, you have all the ingredients, and then so keep your energy to yourself. It's like I shared the other day. Try to figure out where you surrender your energy, where your energy is, where your power is. Was it a situation in the past? Was it a person? Was it what is it? Even if you don't know what it is, it's still good.
Mm-hmm.
You can, in your mind, see how much power you have, and you start bringing. It's like pipes coming out of your way, drain your energy. Start reclaiming, bringing back to you, so you be whole. But unfortunately, I cannot do this for you. You're the only one who can do it for yourself. Right? And that's the one a good example of strong upbringing and strong beliefs that prevents things from flowing, prevents things from, this access to ethereal soul that I was sharing about. And that's perhaps one of the main causes of depression.
Mm.
Now, moving on, um, I have very good news to you and everybody. There's so many ways you can fix this. But number one is when you realize that that's what's happening. Yeah, that's your role as a therapist and gifted healer that you are. That's what I do, as all the therapists do, is to let you know, from my point of view, what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like two people playing chess. You're just a bystander, just watching. And quite often you have a better view, you have ideas what's the next movement could be, because you are zooming out. So that's because we are outside the situation, we can see better. And sometimes you can suggest amazing things. So the first healing path for depression, the easiest one of them, is called Xiang Wang. I'm doing this on purpose, but it's lime or lemon tea. All
Oh, I
right.
love it.
So what you do is you get here in the Bahamas, easy to get lime, but you can do with lemon. You just boil with everything, with peel, with wash, peel, the pulp, seeds, everything. You can cut in halves and just try to squeeze and make a tea. And this is wonderful for liver qi stagnation.
Mm.
Liver loves lemon in this fashion. It's just a couple of teas, once or twice a day or 3 times if you will. The Japanese love lemon tea. It's part of their culture. And I figured that perhaps it's one way of releasing the qi stagnation, liver qi stagnation. All right.
Yeah,
The second one.
Oh, I was just going to say, that's super cool.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in my little old wives' tales, when somebody's depressed, it's really good to put a lemon in your kitchen window to raise the vibration of the space. And so I'm always telling people, oh, put a lemon in your kitchen window. So I love the lemon tea. That's so great.
There you are. Perfect, Lisa. Perfect.
Love it.
It's exactly what you're doing. You can even use lemon scent, essential oils or diffuser, whatever that is, because it has this amazing energy that liver loves, because liver loves sour flavor. The flavor the liver loves the most sour. And the lemon in this fashion has bitter and sour, which is great if it releases the energy.
Yeah.
The other one, I don't know if you know this one. It's called fo shu, but it's Buddha's hand. Have you heard that? It's a
Huh.
citrus. It looks just like a hand. So everybody could Google. It's called Buddha hand. It's a citrus. Food store. When I see, sometimes I take a photo, but it looks just like fingers. So this also a tea. If you can make a tea, this citrus, it stimulates the coming and going of the ethereal soul.
Mm.
But I won't let you down. If you cannot find Buddha's hand because it's hard, there's something else that does the same thing, which is it's called chinpi or tangerine peel.
Oh, wow.
It's among all the citrus. This is my favorite. It has to be a dry. I'll explain. The tangerine peel stimulates chi, number one, and also ethereal soul movement. It's as good as it gets in terms of resolving emotion, resolving depression, resolving stuck feelings. But what you do is, whenever I find good tangerines, ideally should be green ones, but you can get away with ripe ones as well. So wash it well, save the peel, and let it dry. When it's dried, like almost crackling, you can store it in not plastic, paper bag, preferably, and just leave it there. Just make a tea out of it. This is the best thing, and I use this a lot for people who are having chemo, cancer, for cancer treatment. It takes all the discomfort and nausea and everything, and the person feels that the treatment advances. It's a beautiful thing. So if you forgot everything, I said so far, remember tangerine peel tea.
Mm.
Yeah? It's wonderful for energy. It delivers, liver loves it, and also has a tremendous impact on your ethereal soul.
So yummy. Somebody just wrote, it's either Alyssa or Elisa. So you can pick which one. Hopefully that's right. But she says, I'm making a lime tea right now. Thank you. So
awesome. Great.
Yes, I love
it. Very much in tune.
Yes, it's awesome.
Very much in tune. Another thing that I said, because it's to do with movement, as I said, it's liver to stagnation. The other thing you want to do is basically exercise, but there's something you can find at your home, right?
Oh, okay.
It's a hairbrush, yeah, a hairbrush, and you're going to brush your arms. If you can do from the shoulders down all the way to your arms, that's fine. One way, just keep doing that. Just brushing like this, yeah. Some people, if you have a very thin skin, very thin, you can apply some coconut oil or almond or olive oil, and just do this brushing, just towards the hand, and do the same thing towards your feet. This is my doll, right? And then it's from the knee down all the way to the feet. Nice. Just keep brushing this, arms and the legs. This is also wonderful for your movement, for the energy movement. So people have some sort of stagnation. They will benefit a lot from creating this movement. Because remember, we're talking about stagnation. This moves things. The other one that I love it, although I don't practice, is called Ishnan. It's part of Ayurvedic culture, which is cold showers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cold showers is wonderful for somebody who has depression or feel that things are stuck. I cannot emphasize this enough, not because of myself. I do this, but I don't follow through. But it's wonderful for so many things. And you can start by, say, a few seconds, building up to, say, 3 minutes. If you have 3 minutes, and the temperature could be 10 degrees centigrade or 50 Fahrenheit, mm-hmm. You can play with that, because this is going to regulate your autonomic nervous system. like sympathetic, parasympathetic, and it's really, it stir things up in a good way, right? So if you want to start your day, you're dreading your Monday morning, so a cold shower doesn't need to be too cold, but something that makes things flow. And the benefits as you do that, it has a compounding effect. So as you do that, your energy will flow much, much better.
I love what you're sharing. So in Ayurveda, there is something called dinacharya, and dinacharya is your daily routine. And part of my daily routine is the brushing that you're talking about. I actually do the dry brushing in the shower, and then I flip from hot to cold several times.
Oh, good.
Also for that, exactly what you're talking about, because my liver is my challenge. And so I love, this is such validation, like some of the things that I'm already doing. So I highly recommend to everybody, like what Cairo is teaching about dry brushing and cold showers. My gosh, it's completely changed my skin. And I have a crack in my tongue, which is all about my liver. I'm sure you know all about that, Cairo. And it's actually getting smaller for the first time.
How special. How special. What, drying a brush and well, wonderful.
Yeah. So the things that you're talking about just really, they work, you guys.
That's wonderful. Another thing that I probably you know this, but I don't know if people know about this, but is dandelion. I cannot emphasize how precious dandelion is, so much so that I joke, I say, next incarnation, I would like to come as a dandelion if I have a choice.
I love that.
Because I could be so helpful. Because the leaves and roots have to do with the liver, how things flow physically, right? The flower has to do with emotion, and the pompons, the cotton-like, has to do with mind issues. So the whole thing, the whole dandelion has to do with the liver. The whole dandelion has to do with the free emotion. It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Oh my gosh, Cairo. So Cheryl Garcia, who's the Colorado herbalist, who also has a monthly feature, Herbal Thursdays, she just talked about dandelion like a little bit ago and wrote this incredible blog about all the things that dandelion do. So you guys are totally in sync right now in this month of talking about dandelions. I love it.
Not coincidence.
Yes, it's so great. I love it when we're all in sync on Buddhist Biohacker, even if we don't all talk to each other. Everybody's in sync with the energy. It's so cool.
Not coincidence. Another thing that I'd like to share, it's sound. Our body, as you know, there's amazing vibration that when we say, we sing, we chant. The Tibetans always talk about this, because what happens is when let me give you this background. When a boy, normally as a boy, he wants to become a Tibetan monk. First, he started occupying with mundane things, like serving tea. He spent some time doing that. As time goes by, and when the masters see that he's worthy, he begins to play drum, right? Those big drums in ceremonies and processions. Then you get this function playing drums. As time goes by, you start promoting to all those long horns. You know that's it's made of metal, but it's basically copper and silver, because you can reach people from far away. You can listen to that. And then as you go and time go back, you learn to cymbals and other instruments. But then there is a time, during that time when you kind of graduated in instruments, if they notice how evolved you are invited to learn how to sing deeply. You know, this Tibetan deep sound. Mm-hmm. That's the highest honor. If they see that you're worthy, or if you want to, of course, to develop those deep sound, because it's very empowering for one, and keeps you grounded, and has a tremendous, especially when you say Om Mani Padme Hum, which is they keep singing, Because Om has to do with your upper chakras, the head, and Hum is to do with the heart. So this you just keep doing that. Om Mani Padme Hum Mani. So this is a mantra that your palate, which is very close to the pineal gland, keeps reverberating. So this is wonderful things to make energy move, to to make things happen. But what I normally recommend for people in my practice, don't get to that point of deep singing, but say it's like a homework, or they can do in my office. Say the scale, the musical scale. You go to do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, and then you pick up one note that resonates with you, right? You keep doing it until one of the notes is going to resonate with you. It can change. Sometimes it's do, sometimes it's C or D or E. But that day, pick up that note and you're going to hum. Just hum. If it's C or do, and just keep humming. Just spend some time humming. That's just amazing. That has a tremendous impact on your energy. I can always check before I show people and do afterwards.
I feel like you've been at my house this week, Cairo. Everything you're saying is so beautiful and resonates so much with me. Like, so first off, you just sang Do Re Mi, and I sing sometimes to my little ones, like before bed. They really like that. When I have the space and energy, I do it. But this particular week, I kind of get tired of the same songs. And so I started singing Do a Deer to her and singing that song, and it put her right to sleep after a few minutes. But it's interesting to me because my healing practice was sound healing. What I was taught to do is a practice called Samvahan, which is a Tibetan vibrational sound healing, like you're talking about. And so one of the things I was shown to do in a lucid dream is I actually lay my hands on the different energy centers on the body and find the note that resonates. So I actually will sing, find the note that resonates, and then do exactly what you're saying. I'll hum or I'll chant Om Mani Padme Hum through that sound, and then I start to raise the vibration by raising the octaves and changing the note structure, and it actually changes the cellular structure of the body, which I'm sure you know about because you're talking about it. And so it's just really incredible what you're talking about. It's, if you're feeling depressed and you go sing, it changes everything. Like, get in your car and drive to work and play a song. And I want to recommend Deva Premal is one of my favorites. She has a beautiful Om Mani Padme Hum chant that you just listen to it. And I actually play it in the car, and the kids will sing it too. Like, we all just chant on the way to school. And that's something that actually is just so great. It really changes the energy of the whole day if you can chant like that. So I just love that you're bringing this up. I just think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. You resonate with what I'm saying because you have that in you. It's part of your life. It's very powerful. Also, probably you've seen this before or heard about this before, because occasionally people invite me to check their houses for feng shui. Before I do anything the conventional way, I like to check the energy, how things are flowing or not flowing, because I'm moving to details. And here in Nassau, it's very common for people to rent their houses for a short period of time, like short-term rentals. So there's lots of, there's a movement, people coming and leaving. And quite often, the energy that's left behind, it's not ideal, let's put it mildly. And people ask me, they know about this, to do an assessment and evaluation. And one of the things I do besides humming, of course, I don't do this very loud, it's just for myself. When I see a place, a corner, when there's a stagnation, this applies, not, as I said, it's not only internal, but this is external. When there's a stagnation of energy, I normally clap the hand in a circle clockwise as I hum. Just keep clapping. And that's enough quite often to clear the space clearing energy. Sometimes sometimes even if you're in a group or in a place where you feel stuffy and things are not moving, so if you kind of gently clap your hand, this also stir things, moves things. It's number one, sound. Number two, the hands in Chinese concept are extensions of our heart, right? So what your heart feels, your hands do, and your hands do what your heart feels. Right? So anything you do with your hands also has a tremendous impact on how the energy flows. And when there's a stagnation, it's a very good thing to use your hands for anything. Anything you can do with your hands, healing, work with the gardens, working with paper, whatever that is. But also clapping, in that fashion it's a wonderful thing for stagnation. Right? I can go on forever. I have so many things I can share, but I think for the sake, do you have any questions or anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, we could talk. I mean, this is such a great topic. I mean, we could talk about the liver forever. I feel like I'm going to look at these. I invite all of you guys, if you have questions for Cairo, please throw them out. I'm going to look at our little messages here. And Jennifer says, very interesting and fascinating. So connects with everything. Thank you. This resonates with me. Elisa says, what a lovely man and very knowledgeable. Of course, we love Cairo so much. We've got hearts. We have so much good information. Thank you from Mind Wide Open Now. We have prayers. We have thank you. Greetings from the UK. So welcome to Jennifer from the UK. Thank you for joining. Mind Wide Open Now is from the UK too. So welcome and thank you guys for joining us. And so just so many great comments and compliments, Cairo. And I wonder, you're here. Cairo's here every single month, you guys. Every single month he's here. And I wonder if we don't keep talking about all of this next month. What do you think? I mean, it just seems like it's such a hot topic. And I found out, so I used to get acupuncture all the time. I had a gal, she retired, so I'm sad. So I haven't really found a replacement yet. But I know, I wish I lived in the Bahamas by you, Cairo. I come to you, but I'm not. I'm in Colorado. So. But anyways, she would always talk to me about my liver. My liver was always challenged. And what's really interesting, I also am Catholic Irish, you guys. And even though I've converted to, Vajrayana Buddhism, I'm still got a little bit of that in me. So I have a temper for sure. That's my shadow work. So that's also liver. And but anyways, I went and did a genome analysis last year, and I found out that my genetic structure has some mutations that make me susceptible to liver issues and possibly even non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. So my liver numbers are perfect, so I'm good. And part of that is everything you're talking about. I mean, Cairo, I drink dandelion tea, I do lemon water in the morning, I do the dry brushing and the cold starting. Everything you're talking about. And I just cannot say enough how important everyone who's listening, what Cairo is teaching us. Like, I am living proof that you can completely heal your liver structure. That organ, when you talk about replenishment, Cairo, it just blows my mind because it's so true. I mean, I had parasites in 2011 that nearly destroyed my liver. I went jaundice, my skin was yellow. All of these things happened to me, and my liver is completely healed. My liver numbers are great, and it's all natural. It's all doing the things you're talking about, is supporting that organ and doing the shadow work, you guys, looking at what those negative emotions are that come up. And so I don't know. I have a million questions. So knowing our time, I think I just want to say, what are your parting words today about everything you've talked about? And we've got a question. So, I'm not going to know how to say your name. Agnieszka, maybe?
Agnieszka.
Okay, Agnieszka. Okay.
Yes, good friend.
Yuzu oil. She said, would that be beneficial for liver stagnation?
Use essential oils.
YUZU oil. Yuzu oil.
You mean the essential oils?
Yeah, that must be what she's talking about.
Yeah. Basically, again, anything to do with citrus, like it could be lemon, lime. It can be. I prefer grapefruit to a certain extent because grapefruit has tremendous energy. But the only thing is that whenever you use the oils, especially citrus, number one, you need to use a carrier because they can be very strong on the skin. So just a few drops if you want. Dilute it with some like a coconut oil, almond, or olive oil, and apply to the skin, especially the liver area. On the right hand side, where your rib cage ends or begins. But do this in the evening, because if you do this during daytime, the sunlight could change the color of your skin. You might get some issues there. So I strongly recommend, if you want to use essential oils for the liver, the citrus are wonderful. You can use it on the liver, as I said. You can use the sole of your feet, yeah, or in your hands. And another thing that I now see my hands, I save it for you. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is called Buddha's triangle. This is an acupuncture points. It's basically, I try to don't know if you can see. One is here when you move from your fingers, from pink finger, and it's all on the wrist, and the other one on the thumb base, and one in the middle. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a triangle. So what I do is I normally put the three fingers, pressing them. I don't know if you can see, simultaneously, right? And then you start breathing. This is amazing. Whether it's depression or anxiety, it's something you can do just pressing this. Like people have fear of flight or something like that. I strongly recommend the Buddha's triangle. Just keep pressing and breathing. This is wonderful. Okay, so it's 3 points. The other one is my famous ear. In case I lose one, I have a replacement.
I love it.
I have my extra ear. This is a wonderful thing. There's a place here. There's a deep. It's like a fossa, right here. I don't know. I mean, it's easy for you to see here. There's an indentation here. This is called shaman, the gate of a spirit.
Ooh.
So you just massage this. Just look for this indentation and just keep massaging this. Or you can press from the outside, just massage this. This also calms you down, relax. And there's a second one that I like is the earlobe. This represents the brain, the earlobe, right? So you just pull, just gently pull both sides. Just keep pulling. Just keep pulling. This also calms you down. This brings peace of mind. All right. And if you don't mind people, you just keep doing that. If you have insomnia, both sides you can alternate. You can put one at a time, gently. This in short period of time, you're going to be really relaxed, and it's very conducive to sleep and relaxation.
Oh my gosh, I'm totally trying that with the little ones when they will not go to bed. I bet they will fall asleep.
Yes, and one thing that I would like to leave you with, I shared this with before, but again, back to what we call disempowerment, we discussed before. It's something very serious, but I think there's a mantra that I every time I go to my office. This came to me in my dream, but I keep repeating this because it's very empowering, and it's the ethereal soul loves it. It kind of expands. You feel goosebumps. It is very simple. It came to me in dreams, and I woke up repeating this. It's like this: I come from the light. The light lives in me. I am the light.
Hmm.
I come from the light. The light lives in me. I am the light. So you keep repeating this as many times as you wish. And this is tremendous, It's tremendous. I can't emphasize it enough.
That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. I get goosebumps just with you saying that, for sure. And thank you to everybody who's sharing. So I guess yuzu is a Japanese citrus that has lemon and tangerine, is what she's saying.
Oh, okay. Yes. I didn't understand. Sorry.
Yeah. And then Elisa says the liver and gallbladder are the main thing with me as well. I do dry brushing, lemon water. I drink calendula, red clover, chamomile tea, and dandelion. And so that's so good.
Well done.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Cairo, I just love you. It's such an honor to have you on every single month. I look forward to it. And I feel like we could go through these tips and tricks for another hour. So I think, thank goodness you're back again.
So I'll say for the next time, the other tricks in my box. And and also like same thing, if people want me to talk about address a particular area of energy, so let me know. I'm always happy to share. And thank you so much for having me, Lisa. Thank you so much for facilitating this space. And many blessings to you and everybody's.
Yeah, so much love to you. We love having you here. And Cairo's information is in the show notes. It's also coming across the screen right now if you want to get in touch with him for a session or a class. And he has a really beautiful book or two, I think, that you have available. So do check out his website and follow him on Instagram. And we are back, you guys, in 2 hours at 2 o'clock with a really special guest. Her name is Mary Lydia Ryan. She is a world-renowned, award-winning concert pianist. And she is going to be talking about healing through sound. She's really incredible. You guys are going to love her energy. So join us back in a couple hours at 2 for that. And then we are back with Gilbert Pisanic, if I say his last name right, tomorrow at 11 a.m. He is a Vedic astrologer, so he's going to be talking about what we can expect. And we are now live streaming on YouTube and Twitter. So if you are on Twitter, you can follow us at Buddha Biohack. It didn't have enough characters for Buddhist Biohacker, so I couldn't do that. But anyways, thank you, Cairo, so much love and blessings to you. We love having you every single month, and he will be back next month. So you guys can visit our website if you want to see Cairo's dates, any of his past episodes. He has his own playlist also on here that you can find. And much love to you and to everybody who's watching.
Same to you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.